Okay, everyone. So we are on our way to do a check with Mr. Horst Schulze, who is the co-founder of Capella Group and the Ritz Carlton hotels. We do that with absolutely every speaker, even though a lot of events don't do that. We make sure that every single session, every single speaker is on a world-class level. Obviously, we don't question the speakers that we invite, but still, it's a process, it's a step in our way of approaching events, and we believe it's extremely important. Many people also consider that as like, how are you going to say to someone, let's say like Mr. Schulze, that he is doing something wrong? There are always ways for you to do that. So you're going to see a call between me, him, and probably some of his assistants on his session, what we're going to cover there, what we are going to talk about in general, and overall the whole flow of his session coming up at Present to Succeed 2022. 2022. I completely agree with what you mentioned.
But at the same time, I have to excite you, so you listen to me.
Because if you truly think about the conference itself, it's all about presentations. Okay, you saw the meeting before with Mr. Horst Schulze. Now it's time for me to tell you how we ended up and the backstory of how we ended up having him on board for Present to Succeed Conference 2022. All right, everybody. So, by the way, these are the books of Mark Bowden, who is the #1 body language expert in the world. He's also a speaker of at our conference for second consecutive year. Mark is incredible. Named the Primitive Brain, the Winning Body Language for Salespeople. This is for salespeople. These are actually not all of his books, but we're not here to talk about Mark, who is otherwise an incredible person. We're here to talk about Mr. Horst Schulze. This book, Excellence Wins, highly recommending it, is probably the reason why I decided to reach out to him. So as an event organizer in this case, how do we end up deciding on which is the speaker that we want? Well, you have to know your audience, obviously, and you have to know what they would appreciate and what will be of great help to them. I saw this book, I read this book. It's probably one of the most fascinating books in the world, I would say, in the world of business. And after I read it, I actually went on YouTube and watched more or less every single keynote that Mr. Schulze gave in the last, let's say, 5 years. I saw how he presents, I saw how he talks, I saw and heard the stories that he shared, and to me it was a no-brainer. If we managed to get him on board for any of our events for Present to Succeed, I was all in to try and do it. So how did we approach him and how did we win him over on our side?
From now on, I truly will remember what he told me. Never go to work, always go to work for excellence.
When you start analyzing him, because he's a very hard profile speaker and person, you can imagine that when you are the co-founder of Ritz Carlton and the co-founder and the founder actually of Capella Group, which is, just Google it, you're a very high profile person. So you need to be extremely mindful how you reach out to people like that. We try to find as much information as possible for him. Normally you would approach a speaking bureau and approach such high caliber speakers through a speaker bureau, but I approach it in another way. I try to find as much information about him and his team as possible on the web, and based on what I found, in the same way as with presentations, the audience is key. I crafted and our team crafted a pitch towards his team, and we send it over. The reason why this is extremely important for you to understand is because when you look at people like that, you have to expect that there will be a speaking fee. That's absolutely normal. However, it's not about the speaking fee. Even if you're able to pay them the amount that they are asking, that's not a guarantee that you will get those people at your event. These people, that caliber of speakers, want to associate with specific brands, with specific products, with specific events, conferences, etc. And so the question here is, are we building an event and a product that they would be happy to associate with? And how do you present that product to them is key. And so this is what we as a presentation agency, I think we know very well. And so that is how we did it. We crafted super, let's call it effective or truly effective pitch proposition to him and his team. We managed the conversation, we managed a lot of communication there with him and again with his assistants. But at the end, he agreed to join us. And he agreed to join us not just, by the way, for the conference. He also agreed to join us for something else. And that's our podcast. But I'll tell you about the podcast some other time maybe. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, that's it more or less. You have to know your audience. You have to have a super well-crafted pitch towards those speakers. And you have to be extremely mindful and careful how you communicate with him, with them, and with everyone that's surrounding them. Otherwise, your chances of getting people like that is slim to none.
And timing is a very important issue today, because if you're not timely in your business, you lose confidence by customers. You lose trust.
Oh, by the way, what happened with the Horst Schulze podcast?
Well, the story with the podcast is a very interesting one because we ended up having a podcast episode with him. We recorded it. It was brilliant. By the way, you can find the episode at the World of Presentations podcast. It's actually episode number 100. It's the 100th episode that we recorded. And we use a platform that's called Zencastr. Otherwise, incredible people are incredible platform by itself. And yeah, my part of the recording was missing, which didn't feel right to me because you cannot get a person like him again. It's not possible. And so yeah, we had a lot of issues and a lot of communication also there with the team at Zencastr. Unfortunately for us, at first they were not understanding the impact of all of that. Let me take my coffee actually. But afterwards we were approached by one of their senior leaders, Tarja, who managed to understand what's happening and what the impact for us is. Now Zencastr is, I would say, a huge friend of ours, and they're actually going to be one of our sponsors at Present Succeed 2023 when we're bringing the event in Sofia, Bulgaria. So you see how every bad thing afterwards can lead to a good thing. You always have to make sure that try to convert something like that into a positive situation. But yeah, afterwards we recorded my part. Our team internally, I think it was you actually, that edited the podcast, collected it somehow, collected the pieces, edited them out. And yeah, nowadays you can watch the podcast, you can listen to it, but that's actually not the original recording. It's his recording and the second version, the second go on my end. Yeah, it's a long story. Now, let me bring you behind the scenes and show you some other things that are happening for Present to Succeed while we're speaking about that. Okay, so what you just saw was Zara. What you just saw is behind the scenes footage of our upcoming book. So this was the person that actually designed the book with one of his friends. But we were looking at some first drafts of the cover and overall the package itself, because we're doing something quite special. And we were discussing some final touches on the design, because yeah, if you print it, once you print it, it's over, and it just needs to be perfect. Unfortunately for us, we were more or less ready, I would say in the beginning of December 2021, I would say 22 or 2021. Now it's February the 15th, 2022, and this book is still not printed because there is a lot of shortage of materials all across. So everything is so delayed. But yeah, once this book is out, I promise you will love it. It is an incredible, incredible thing. It's a piece of art, which is full of super practical advices on how you can communicate online in a way better way, in a way better way, in a way better, yeah, I would say it's just a better way. It's about presenting virtually and presenting online. So all of our knowledge, all the trainings that we delivered, everything that we learned by ourselves and through our customers is in that book. So yeah, you will love it. Trust me, you will love it. Oh, and one last thing, we're looking for experienced designers to join our team. So if you are one, or if you know one, let them send us their CV at contact@356labs.com. Not 365labs, 356labs.com. See ya.